Thanks, Seth.
Late. Hello,
Appreciate it.
hello. We're not
Appreciate
late.
that.
We're a wizard arrives precisely when he means to. So
That's exactly right. And while my lag has gotten somewhat better talking with Tyler before the show starts, I'm still launching it on my computer, and it's 30 seconds behind my phone. So we'll blame my computer again one more time for that problem. We got Ryan with us. What's up?
hello,
Oh,
hello,
yeah.
Ryan.
Welcome to Skottie Talk with Tyler and Dustin. I forgot to
Yes.
even do an intro. Yeah.
Yeah, the actual intro.
Yeah, episode 32, you get kind of lazy. You just kind of let whatever happens happens. Oh man, we got everybody flooding in
Zach,
tonight. Zach,
another
Ryan,
Ryan. All the Ryans are here.
R squared. We are all Corey.
Corey, hello, hello.
My goodness, the usual suspects.
Yeah.
Very well done. And before we get started in the show, I'd be amiss if I didn't say another happy birthday to you. I thought it'd be really great to write a song like because you no copyright infringements to write a new birthday song for you. And
Mm.
I thought of that Sunday, and then I forgot about it to this very moment. So I did not do it. I did not. So, but
I want to
happy
say
birthday.
that we would have
Happy.
had a rendition of the Muppets like we did the previous
Yeah,
episode.
I made it. I think the only part I got was like glorious birthday, and that's all I got. That's all I got. I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with glorious birthday, so I just let it go. But
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, it was a fun weekend. Again, incredibly lucky to have my birthday on Star Wars Day. May the Fourth be with you. So, yeah, it was an incredibly fun birthday. 33 now. So,
33. I was going to ask you how old
yeah,
you were.
yeah,
33.
2 years from 35, 5 from 40 from that, and then it just keeps going and going. So,
That's a pretty neat coincidence. You hit the double triple, and I hit the double quad this year. So we've got the
oh, there you go.
doubles covered.
Yeah,
So
there we go. We got the doubles covered. I like that. Yeah.
yeah, very symmetrical. All right. So did you get to go on Saturday to Free Comic Book Day to
I
Coliseum?
did. Yep. Yeah. Thankfully, yeah. Because last year, and unfortunately, they lined up on the same day, Star Wars Day and Free Comic Book Day. So, I didn't make it out last year just because Star Wars was the focus. So I was really glad it didn't happen again this year. Um, but yeah, I woke up, got a haircut, and then I headed out after that, and it was again, it's so awesome to see. It's so many people there. Brian, who I normally talk to, he was super busy. He was like, I can't really talk today, and I was like, no, I get it. I was like, there's a lot of people here, and but again, it's so fun to see. People come in, get their free comics, and lots of good choices. Like it was really difficult for me to choose this year. Like I actually had to like flip through and like kind of pick my choices. I wish I could have gotten more. Um, but yeah, it was really really fun, of course, to see Skottie's there. I saw a few people pick his up, and
That's
picked up
cool.
some other things while I was there, so it was good.
Well,
I know you don't have one quite
now
near you.
the closest comic shop I've got to me is about a 40-minute drive,
Oof.
and I was planning on going pretty early I think they were opening at 10 on Saturday, and then they posted images of what books they got, and I
Mm.
Hate Fairyland was not one of them.
Oh,
So
gotcha.
I thought, nah, I unfortunately cannot make it. But would you believe it or not, Seth is becoming start say Seth is becoming my sugar daddy. Apparently, he's he's he's, he's, he's hooking me up with the book and the shirt tonight.
He is a
He's dre-
sweet guy, so
he's dressing me now.
I
So
like that. Yeah, that is a really great shirt. I love that. I love his mascot for that. So
yeah, it's very much appreciated. I'm sure he's tuned off already, but hey, we're oh,
oh
who me?
no,
He's like, no,
there
of
he
course
is.
not. I just said that to fish and get him out of the
Exactly.
woodworks. But thank you very much, Seth, for holding the book for me for Heroes and for this sweet shirt. It fits like a charm. So being husky paid off. Seth is a little bit bigger for Seth and Tyler, so thankfully it fits me well. So thank you. I've got to let people. We pick on each other so much during these shows. We got to let everybody know the
Yeah,
truth.
reputation to uphold. Exactly.
Exactly. What else we got
I
here?
think quality fashion advice.
There we go. Sorry. I think so. I wondered. I missed that you was reading the comments. I guess if I paid attention, I'd
Yeah, I
get
could have
that
popped
stuff.
them up there. Yeah, I was just there. Again, we've been getting a lot more comments, which has been really fun. A little bit more difficult to keep up with in the show and everything, but super fun to see everyone commenting on.
No, and howdy neighbor to you too. Do you know this person or do I know
I
this person?
I was gonna say I think this is a you. I don't know this person. Yeah, I was gonna ask if you knew who this was.
I don't know. It's
I
that's what makes
love
it even more
I
fun.
love
It's a
their name
puzzle.
though. If that's a reference to Riddick, which I hope it is. I don't know what else it would be a reference to.
Hey, whatever it is, welcome to the show. I'm sure it's
Yes.
somebody we know from the group, but I don't know that you've been on here with us before. But you're always welcome back.
Yeah.
Ryan, yeah, well, I guess just the way it's preferenced, howdy neighbor. I'm thinking, yep, that's somebody I know because as dorky as it may sound, that's something I would probably literally say to my office mates at work or to our neighbors that live on either side of
Oh,
us.
I
So,
love that. It always reminds me of Mr. Rogers. So
mhm.
it's very warm and friendly. So
Oh yeah, as I'm changing into my loafers and cardigan at work, I'm always telling everybody,
exactly. I didn't know that. So Gmart is giving them for free. You just had to pay shipping. I might have to. I wouldn't mind. I mean, again, I know they're free, so that they're all it being
that's good.
a
Oh hey
black
Jerry.
cover. But I wouldn't mind getting maybe one of these graded just because I think it's really cool. But I don't know. Yeah, that's a good tip.
All right. And everybody in the comments here, let's see. Oh, we're getting our answer here before I read this.
Very nice. Good. Such a awesome
Oh, is
movie
this Eric?
series.
Is this Eric? Because I know Eric's in Smiths Grove. Eric Horner. So, I'm saying people's names
Oh,
on here. Let's see.
Seth has one more for me. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I guess I
Oh,
need to thank Seth too for being such
he,
a nice guy and getting me an extra copy.
yeah, he's going to be able to claim us as dependents next year on his taxes.
Yeah,
So yes,
exactly.
sir.
Goodness.
Yes, sir. Eric Horner. He is a member of the group. Welcome, Eric. I always
Very,
like
yeah,
to
very
put
much welcome. I
names.
think though I'm just gonna call you Furion because again, it's such an awesome word and such an awesome series, Riddick. I love those movies. I've always wanted his replica goggles from the movies. They're just the coolest things. I know it would look like a complete fool, but totally fine with
And
me. I'd
that
buzz my I'd go bald again to be Riddick. So
Yeah, next Halloween we've got some interesting ideas of different things to dress up for. So
interesting is definitely the word of choice.
all right.
But
Well,
free comic book day, yeah. Mm. Pitch
pitch
Black
black.
Pitch
Okay.
Black was really great. I'm uh I prefer Chronicles, but it's just because again that was my introduction. So yeah, exactly. Might make me look like Toad. That's fitting with all the new X-Men stuff. People are coming back and everything, so they're back in style.
Yeah, and I think back in the '90s and movies like Can't Hardly Wait, that was kind of the style to where
It
the
was,
guy.
yeah,
I
like the
think Seth
goggles
Green
and
maybe had it. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So, but yeah, I digress. All right, we are 10 minutes in and we haven't made it past the first line. Par for the course. So
Hey,
Scotty, Mr. Scotty Young was very busy
the
on
man
comic book day on
himself.
that Saturday. Yeah, he was hopping around to every comic shop, which is
And
awesome.
Megan too. Megan's poking up in that top right corner there. You can see.
Excuse me. Oh yeah, yeah. Can't leave Megan out. But that's awesome to see creators pop into stores and really draw it. And I'm not sure if any of these were advertised or if this was totally pop up experiences. But
Yeah.
all the people that were able to be in attendance and get books signed by him and just kind of get pictures and photo ops with them, that has to be a really cool experience for comic book day.
No, yeah, I love that. Like, him standing up, signing comics. Him taking photos. I especially love the one with the young creator-owned comic book right there with the moose and his birthday. I thought that was a really fun call out.
Yes.
And I just wanted to list the stores. I love that they shouted out each of the stores in their Substack. Go, again, sub to their Substack if you haven't. They link to these stores that are near to them. Yeah, I can imagine, this was them just popping in and having fun because it seems like, they enjoyed doing that, especially for something like this. And then even to be, gracious enough to donate some books to Elite Comics there to help with their fundraising for Free Comic Book Days. So just really cool to be able to do that, I'm sure.
Yeah, and if you're wondering what Tyler's talking about when he talks about Substack newsletters, make sure to watch episode 30 or 31. I don't remember what episode it was, but where we went in depth. Watch them both. Watch them both. They're
Watch them
quality
all. Yeah,
television.
watch all
Yeah,
31.
yeah, and it is. And I've also heard that parents are using it as a form of discipline to their unruly children. So make sure to put episodes 20 through 25 on for that experience. So
Goodness.
anyway, silly mode off.
There we go. There we go.
There we go.
Just had to create a quick banner there for you folks. So
got
pretty simple, SkottieYoung.substack. Again, we are not affiliated with Skottie Young and Stupid Fresh Mess. So
not one bit. Not one bit. They're probably going to start putting that at the bottom of all their newsletters. Yeah. But
just
hey,
ignore,
Ray,
like, it's like 2 mugshots, or like just ignore these 2 weirdos.
Yeah. It'll be me in the banana outfit and you and your the aliens outfit. Yeah, from the Halloween. Another great episode to watch. Yeah, if y'all want to watch some good Halloween trivia and see some great Halloween Skottie art, make sure to tune into the Halloween episode that we had.
Yeah.
Episode insert number after the show.
That'll be here before you know it, for sure. What am I saying? I have them all right here above me. I just have to roll my eyes in the back of my head. Episode 10.
Episode 10. That's right. Great. That was a fun episode.
It was, yes, yeah.
The trick is to keep moving, Seth. They can't deliver it if they can't find you, and you can tell how nimble I am. And
we set up multiple PO boxes that just kind of ping off of each other. It's a whole network. So
yeah, my name's.
That's why we'll be in disguise at Heroes Con. They won't be able to tell who we are. So I'll have like the glasses and mustache.
Yeah, the mouse ears that Tyler has will be a dead giveaway. But I did buy.
I'll bring like a whole bunch and hand them out. So it'll be that thing. Oh man, what was that? Of course, I'm gonna forget the name of the movie.
Oh no.
The art theft movie where he like blends in. It's like all the people that look like him. Goodness.
Oh, are you talking? Is that the Pierce Bronson movie, the Thomas Crown Affair? Or am I thinking
yes, I believe so. Yes.
Okay, that was a shot in the dark. I've only seen that movie one time. It's been a very long time ago, but I think
I believe that's it.
But speaking of you've got a new hat with the Skottie logo. I also ordered a new hat for Heroes, and I'll reveal it on one of these shows prior to it. It's not a Skottie hat. It's not.
Not a Skottie hat. Oh, gotcha.
No. It's just a hat that's big enough to fit my head. So it's a big one. Jerry called it. Thomas Crown.
I like that.
Yep, Jerry.
I'm about to say, that was a good. Yeah, it was a good call. Cause I didn't give the greatest explanation. So,
no. Well, there's nothing worse than being in the office and saying a really good line from a movie, or trying to say, "Hey, do you remember that part where?" And the person looking at you like deer in the headlight,
like, nope.
No idea.
Yeah.
So we're with family here. We're with like-minded folks.
Exactly.
So I feel safe here. Oh, and to get to the one
meat.
Of the main focuses, the meat and potatoes. We had our veggies. Now it's time to get to the meat. Stupid. This should be the candy. I don't know, Tyler. I feel like this is going off the rails quicker than usual tonight. So
I'd say we're par course. You know, we're pretty much on the ball. So, and by on the ball, I mean we've fallen off quite a bit ago. So
yeah. We're in the vicinity of the ball.
We can still see it as it rolls away, but that's about it. So
mount the ball, but we bounce off of it several times during the show. So yeah, yes, that is if you love Skottie shirts, a good little variety at Hot Topic. So
yep, Hot Topic and Target, like the two like ones that I know. There was one online that Dre told me about that I hadn't ordered from that I need to, because they have the Run the Jewels cover, which that's one of my. So I was like, I really want a shirt version. I need to look at that again. I don't know if I have it saved still. So
we might need to do a show in the future for all the different, merchandise. Like
it would be, definitely write that down, because that would be an interesting one to go, especially because again, it's official, but it's not. It's so weird how they treat that stuff, because it's not Skottie, it's Marvel and their properties. So it's just how they distribute them, but it's more so the way it's all categorized. It makes it hard to look up. Like, it's just, if you see it, you see it. Yeah, exactly. Like the Venomized, the Venom shirt that made its rounds. I remember finding Rocket Raccoon pants, and I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy!" Like, I never even knew, this was a thing. So,
I think I remember Skottie writing a newsletter or something at one time talking about wearing Rocket or Deadpool, one of those pajamas of a character that he had drawn, and said just how surreal that is to be sitting and writing something in pajamas that
Yeah.
have characters on them that you created. So,
I mean, it would.
uh,
It would be pretty crazy, yeah, to have. And that's why, yeah, especially it excites me, with the potential for more, Gert stuff. I Hate Fairyland coming up, and other stuff like that. I know we would love that. Other fans would love
yes,
that, and
almost
I
definitely.
know Skottie would love that again, having his own characters portrayed like that. So
Did you get the alien shirt, the button-up shirt that he had?
I didn't know that was the Roosevelt's one. I think
Yeah,
the
it's pricey. It's a little bit on the pricey side for
yeah, Roosevelt's stuff is expensive. Their stuff is really nice. Their quality is really good. I don't think I own anything from them. I know I've looked at them before, but yeah, I didn't buy that one mainly just because I love it, but I'm not a big button-up shirt person. I'll occasionally do it, but it's just too fancy for me. I like to slum it. So
yeah, I'm the opposite. I like to slum it with a button-up shirt on. So
with the button
I
up,
take yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So, but we're once again we have diverted away from the topic of the show. That's why I started smiling. I
it's
was like,
completely fine. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
I guess we
who's
just need to
judging?
stop titling the shows and just kind of leave it ambiguous as to what we'll
Yeah,
be discussing, kind of keep everyone on their toes, so to speak. So.
I think that's the best idea we've
Or
heard
we
all
could just
day.
have that one episode is just called On Your Toes, and it's just, whatever comes up. So
It would probably be our most focused episode, and people would call us liars. But um, I hate Fairyland.
yeah.
This was the return of interior art for Skottie. It was an introduction of Derek Loffman, who I want to call Kaufman so bad every
I
time
know
I
you
say it.
every
Every time I say it every episode too, and it's like a broken record. But Derek Loffman, I know if we've talked to Derek about possibly coming on the show. Me and you both kind of touched base with him, and I know I'm gonna get on here and be like, "Hey, welcome to Skottie Talk with Tyler and Dustin and Derek Kaufman," and he's gonna click, remove from studio.
it was like, hey, it's actually Kaufman, like as you like covers the microphone, it's like,
Yeah,
no, 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 no.
no,
No,
no, it's not
I'm
okay.
sure I don't know yet if he'd be, the type of person who would like call you out or just rolls with it. It's like, yeah, no, that's fine.
No,
It's
either
kind of like if
way,
we had Mignola on and we called him Mignola, and he was like, "No,
yeah,
it's wrong. It's Mignola." I'd be like, "I'm
I
so sorry."
I would just call him Miggy and hope that he wouldn't get too upset with it. Um, but the
There
return
we
of
go.
Scotty Young interior art.
Yes,
This is,
7 years.
7 years. I didn't realize it'd been 7 years
Yeah,
since
when
the
they
last.
posted that, I was like, "Has it really been 7 years?" Like I remember, like, like when he had started talking about that, and like that like he would be winding down, but like to think that, yeah, that's 7 years ago is absolutely wild.
You think about how much has changed in 7 years. I mean, it's like a complete the Scotty as a pop culture figure back then compared to Scotty in 2025. Uh, I mean, back in 2017, people were still going and getting sketches from him at Heroes and all the different cons. And
Yeah.
now, granted, he had popularity, but he didn't have like otherworldly popularity back then that he's got
Well, like you
now.
said,
Where
yeah, the biggest, factor or that, I attribute that to is, like you said, him doing sketches of the cons. And now that's just, not an option. He doesn't
no,
do that. Just because the lines are, I can't imagine him having to try and do that. The lines would be 3 times, 4 times as long. You wouldn't get to everybody, kind of a deal. So,
yeah, it'd be impossible
yeah.
to do that. But if I think we've scanned every page in this for you all to enjoy for anybody that hasn't
I
seen it
did.
yet.
And funny enough, I was going to skip the not title page, but the credits page.
Yeah,
Not on
no, no.
purpose. I was just like getting it to the page, but then I was like, oh, it is cool to see the with special guest Derek Loffman in there, which we've seen before with his Untold Tales of I Hate Fairyland when Derek contributed a comic for that. But this is, the introduction of him fully on as the new interior artist. So I was like, no, what? No, I'll include that one and have that there. So
And I'm glad you did. I like that you did that. And the colors for that and the little logo in the bottom right hand corner are really nice.
yeah, because I was
And
going to say, I would assume, I just thought about that too. I would assume that's a Skottie sketch.
Yeah, it's now I want to say it's recycled,
Is
but
it recycled? That's what I was just trying to think about, is
thought
if it's
so.
recycled or if it's a new one.
I thought it was, but I might be proven wrong. That's just my
I'd have to
speculation. And
pull out
hey,
like an I Hate Fairyland, one of like the newer stuff to see if that's one.
right. I say hey to my Mr. Becker who's joined
Hello,
us.
Becker.
I saw him out and about at I didn't see him in person. I saw him through
Oh,
pictures out and
I
about
was
at
like,
Free
you saw him
Comic
in
Day.
person.
I popped into Kansas City for a quick drop and shout out. But no, glad to have you on the show with us, Mr. Becker. All right.
I
So,
asked, not to derail, I did ask at
no,
one
no,
point
go.
too if this was supposed to be a representation of Milo in the bed, because it seems very Milo-esque looking.
Yeah. And
Um,
what was the
I,
answer?
I
What'd you get
never,
back?
yeah, I never got an answer, but I'm still like in the back of my
So,
mind, it
so
still like sits there. I'm like, I wonder if that's kind of supposed to be like a Milo, little nod to his kid. So
yeah, I mean, it could be a reference point if nothing else. So that'd be pretty nice.
yeah,
But here we have it. The first
there it
interior art
is. There
from
she
Skottie
blows.
in 7 years, and it is a full page splash. Holy moly!
Yeah,
Very cool, very cool. And this is a great. I mean, I hate Fairyland, not hate Free Comic Book Day. Sometimes the comics are kind of, and as Scotty even said in his newsletter, sometimes there's not a whole lot of meat to the comics at Free Comic Book Day.
yeah.
But that's what made I Hate Image, what we talked about last week or week before, whenever it was. I Hate Image that Scotty did so great because it had so much new content in it. And for me, this is for to jump from issues 1 through 20, volume one, through issues 1 through 20, volume two, and now we're going to issue 41 uh, with Derek, who Derek may be bringing his own new group of fans over that may never have even read I Hate Fairyland before.
True.
This is a good book to pick up leading into issue 41, or you may not have to go back and read all 40 issues that have came before it. You
Even
can
though you
just
still
read this,
should.
even though you should. Yeah, yeah. Shame on you if you don't. Yeah,
But no, it's a great point. Yeah, that it was really fun to, because again, it's like TV shows or movies. Like when I revisit them, I'm like, oh yeah, that did happen. It's not that I forgot. Like I know, I remember most, the big beats and stuff. But it is one of those things, especially the more you consume, the harder it is to kind of remember stuff. So it was a really fun comic to get into. And talking about I did just want to call out. I called it out on my Instagram. One that really surprised me was Post Malone's new comic, which I didn't even know Post Malone was writing a
yeah. I
comic.
didn't either.
He co-wrote it. He created it and co-wrote it with Adrian Wassel, and then the art is by Nathan Gooden, who the art is what hooked me in. The art is just incredible. I love the lines. It reminds me a lot of like Ryan Otley, maybe with like, I don't know, just kind of a mix of people. But I went and pre-ordered that one online as soon as it went up on online there. So
Very cool. I meant to ask you about that before the show. I may talk to you about it after the show too, just to get
yeah,
more insight on it.
no,
So
it's like it wasn't like blew my socks off, but it was just fun to and that's what I tried to do with the free comic book day this year, was pick the ones that I wouldn't normally pick up. Like in the past, I've just grabbed stuff for the covers just to grab it, whether it's Star Wars or somebody big and stuff. But because I didn't have a lot of choices or a lot of options, I could only get three. I was like, you know what? I'll actually flip through, and I want to see stuff that maybe I wouldn't normally pick up. And that was one that just immediately caught my eye. And I was like, wow, this is definitely one I'll be picking up here. So
very nice. And I see Ryan has commented that I Hate Fairyland is my favorite series. And congratulations to Ryan for being the winner of the Gert statue that was
yes.
auctioned off on eBay. And great signature placement on that one. Very jealous of that one. That was awesome.
No, it's a great pickup, especially with having the broken one, the face. That's always tough. You have it, but to have it, cracked like that and stuff. And again, some people wouldn't mind entirely, but to be able to grab that updated one, and then I know he said he's selling his older one, which is a great swap there. So,
Yes.
yeah, no, it's such a great series, such a great great statue. And yeah, I'm again, I'm just so glad it's still continuing and it's still just as fun. And then now, again, I like most other people were a little bit hesitant to not have Skottie on interiors, but as we saw with Brett Bean, that was worked out fantastically, and I have no doubt in my mind that it'll be the same with Derek as we see coming up here. So
Yeah, and if these two double page splashes from Derek don't convince you, then I don't think anything will. But as we flip through the book and get through the next few pages here, it's more recap from the
Yeah.
I,
I will say, I don't know if we're gonna like the plan is to go page by page or what the
yeah, I can't control the thing with
yeah,
my
just
phone,
let
but
me know. Yeah, I've
yeah,
blown it
you're
up here
good.
too, so I can read it if we want to. But one of
Perfect.
my favorite phrases that Scott used in a while here is and I'll kind of cut in on the dialogue on that first page. But yeah, everyone's a fluffing shrink now. ADHD this, anxiety that. Well, trigger me this, doc. It's I don't know why that
That's
like
so
made
good.
me laugh and smile. So I was like, trigger me this, like, I was just like, that's such a again, it's so witty and funny that that again, just to play on stuff again, like it, riddle me this or this. It's just hearing that different way of it being said was really fun.
Yeah, and just moments like those, it makes you. He's like, dang, Scottie's a good writer. Scottie's a
Yeah,
really good writer.
it's
If you need
yeah,
validation, there's
yeah.
stuff like that just like proves it. So,
Yeah, like exactly. Yeah, it's again the fact that he can switch between stuff like this and Ain't No Grave or Middle. It's just like again, that's you've got a real knack for it when you can write both of those things equally well, and it pays off. So
I agree 100%.
yeah, muffin fluffin dialogue, and again as we've always known with the I Hate Fairyland universe. The fact that they can't curse, just makes it fun, I'm sure, to come up with all the stuff we're used to now, fluffin' and muffin and all that kinds of stuff. So,
Yep.
um, yeah, then her to start there, and the fact that like she's writing this as a diary or her story, but if she's Frodo,
Yeah.
retelling her
She's
her adventures and tale, and yeah, to see her, all prim and proper, little girl Gertrude, and getting sucked into the world, and again, just in those few panels right there, just to see at the top there, her in the little dress, but then they go to the very bottom and the eyeballs just like pulling out of her head and the lid. You're like, okay, this is extreme. It's extreme silly there. So
well, one of the wild things to think about it as we you flip through the book, and I was looking at it today because I thankfully Tyler scanned in every page, and I was able to read through it since I didn't get to see it. But he was like, "Man, Gert's been through quite a bit over these 40 issues. There's probably moments of reread of the all 40 issues before issues 41 comes out next June next month. Would do everybody well to just kind of know all the stuff that's happened to her over the course of her time in Fairyland.
yeah, no, it's a good call. Yeah, I want to see. I didn't grab this off the internet or anything. I scanned this all in myself and lined it up and made sure
Yep.
we'd have the pages to look at. So
He did it for you people. Yeah,
yeah,
he
exactly. I
thinks
did
that
it.
much
I
of
did
you.
it for you the viewer, so we could look at these wonderful
Yeah,
pages. But yeah, no, like you said, I mean, yeah, she went through so much and like
yeah.
some of the most ridiculous stuff that like again I need to go back and reread this, especially now having the compendium that I can have it all in one
Flip
go
through it
for the
all.
most part. But yeah, I mean it's just such gorgeous art, and as we'll talk about later on, the people who got some of the new art that came out, are very lucky, and people who have some of these pages from these first issues and the first stuff is really awesome. So
But speaking of, I think I heard Seth got all 3 pages. Is that what you heard, or was some
yeah,
mistaken about that?
through the grapevine, yeah, Seth was going on and on about how he took out a second mortgage and something else,
Yep.
sold his soul, something like that. But yeah, I got all 3 pages, I think. So
Yeah, I think he's going to share them with me and you at Heroes too. But anyway,
he said
I
we
said
each get one. I don't know. So
yeah, I said I got third pick, so I don't mind. There's no real losers in this. There's just winners. All right.
exactly.
Yeah, like you said, great art, great art. Yeah, he woke up in a bathtub full
Yeah,
of ice. Is all
yeah,
I'll say.
missing a kidney.
Yeah, so it wasn't enough.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, he was able to buy probably a trade paperback, but it was right there at it. So
exactly.
I kid. Seth Soul's worth quite a bit. It's worth on the
Exactly.
open market. Yeah.
No, it's fun. See some of the stuff like I was kind of thinking while we were going, or I was going through it, just seeing Larry back before he was the Larry we know now, who's just always tired, smoking a cigar,
Yeah.
dead
Well,
to the world.
it reminds me a lot of the pilot episodes that we see on TV shows where you see the
Mm.
characters, and we talked about that a little bit in the TV episode. Man, I'm like promoting all kinds of
I know,
past
yeah.
episodes there. So
Let's go back. TV episode 31 or 30?
31.
31. Yeah, last episode. That was
That's
last.
last week. Holy cow. That was like a month ago. But anyway, like we talked
Oh
about like
goodness.
Parks and Rec, for example, how different the characters were at the beginning
Yeah.
of the show versus the very end. So I think some of the characters, even as Scotty's writing this and kind of fleshing it out, there you kind of probably have the core of the character, but it's fun to watch them evolve and grow to what they become and kind of fall in that rhythm of the character you
Yeah.
expect them to be.
No, it'd be a good question for me because, obviously everybody writes differently and stuff, but I'd be curious to know if that's stuff that, like you said, he keeps more in mind at the beginning, or if it's more so, just free flowing that as he writes them and the characters kind of take on a life of their own, if he just kind of, goes with the flow and it's like, no, I think the character would do this now rather than, hey, they need to be, this and this. For people who write long form stuff, for instance, I think of One Piece, 1,000, issues now, 1,000 episodes of TV. But there's stuff that's happening now that was set up 1,000 issues ago with
It's
characters that
crazy.
seemed,
It's insane.
obscure and minuscule and didn't have anything to do with the story, are now having pivotal moments, and the story is just, I can't imagine having to keep up with that. And even,
It takes like
having, yeah,
well Chekhov's gun to like a whole new level of because
yeah, exactly,
for where you
yeah.
go from first act to third act, you're talking about going from number 15 to episode 1027. It's like good gosh, I have trouble remembering what we had for breakfast today. That would be,
We're
but
remembering,
I'm
yeah, last week's episode.
yeah that's it. That's a lost cause. There's no way I'm
I,
getting that. So I kid.
but no, yeah, it's fun to see, like you said, the and even Gert again, like comparing, Gert how she started off with, and then even then, yeah, seeing Larry there with this cigar, and and again, it's just the world building. I think is one of the most fun aspects with I Hate Fairyland, and I'm sure one of the main things that Skottie has a blast with is, again, when you've got a world like this, you can do whatever you want. You could have a talking moon that has its brains that exploded. You could have a large barbarian huntsman with weird big
yeah.
nipples, and that's its
Yep.
own whole kind of thing. So
Okay, so episode 32, first use of the word nipple on our show. This is a good thing that not for kids.
it's the
Mark was
first
checked.
time. It won't be the last if I Hate Fairyland
It,
has anything to say about it. So
love it, love it. But speaking of for kids, I hate Fairyland. Just as you look at these imagery and the fun explosions and stuff, you think it may not be solely intended for children, but I know children love this book. You hear about different
yeah.
kids at cons talk about it, but it's also adults enjoy it just as much, if not more.
Yeah, no, for sure. Is
Thanks,
obsessed with man nips.
thanks,
Yeah.
Jerry. I thought we had moved past it, and Jerry said, "Nay, nay, we're bringing it back, and we're bringing it back hard,
Well, I was
hard
gonna say, I
nipples."
think the next page it continues the nip talk. So
This is
um, yeah, no, it's, I mean, it's again just seeing ridiculous characters like that again. Just Skottie just having a blast with coming up with this world and who's in it. And seeing people like Claudia, who plays a big role in the story, and where she starts
mhm.
off with, it's kind of again the same as Gert, where she was happy go lucky and everything was perfect, and then along comes Gert and ruins her day and
Yep.
changes up things. And again, it's or the way he does his gore and stuff, similar to Ryan Ollie, where it's like that just is appealing for some reason, especially in a fantasy kind of cartoony setting where it's like, over the top and silly. It's more of a B horror movie than like Saw or something where it's, overly grotesque.
Yeah, I think of Kill Bill, where the violence is so much
Yeah,
that it's
yeah,
like it really desensitizes you to the violence
yeah.
just because it's so over the top.
No, yeah, that's a totally apt comparison, and having stuff like the sun is up, but the sun is like peeking over the cliff because it's terrified the Gert's there.
Yeah,
Like again,
yeah.
just
This
just
huge being is scared of a little
yeah,
girl. I
this
get it.
this
So
little girl, yeah. And again, just going back, the holy ship and stuff like that. The language used is just fun.
you
Yeah, I
caught
mean,
me
her
off
just
guard on
going
that
on
one.
this
Yeah,
rampage and just going nuts. Not really caring who gets in her way, even if that is another little girl who appears in her world and starts to mess with her key, because that's the one thing, she's trying to find. She's looking for her key and her name's Happy, and
yeah,
now Happy's going after her key, and it's like, we can't have that, and ending Happy. And then, stuff like maybe Fairyland needs to journal, needs to journal for its mental health.
yeah. You're probably not wrong, Jerry.
Yeah, it'd be sealed in a bag, exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
No easy
So
access for kids.
what's it called? DC Black and Marvel Max. I mean, I think that's. I'm trying to remember
Yeah,
the titles for. So
exactly, yeah. Um,
I'm trying to zoom in with my eyes.
I know, yeah, I've got a bigger, yeah, I mean, and
No, it's my
again,
phone.
it's
It's my. It's not your fault. It's my phone. I
well, I was
apologize.
just
I'll
gonna
have to
say I
look
was
at.
trying to pick out, things to say, but again, her taking care of Happy, but then losing the key, unfortunately, because she kills Claudia, which
Yep.
makes her queen, which is a fun little. It's like, oh no, it's like now you're queen of this whole shindig. You're running the place. Which I love because it's like, yeah, it didn't last long. It didn't take me long for
Yeah.
to get
Yeah.
kicked
No.
out. Which we're then introduced to Duckin, which is one of my favorite characters. Again, I've said it before, but I really need to try and cosplay as Duncan. I have not seen. I don't think anybody done it. Maybe once. I'm not sure. Um, but not. It's not. It doesn't happen very often.
You're flying into heroes, aren't you? This would be too bulky of a suit to
Yeah,
wear,
exactly.
probably.
Yeah, I'd have to ship it out and
Megacon or something.
yeah, and I'm not a sewer, unfortunately. I do not sew well, so
Me
this thing would
neither.
be falling apart. It wouldn't be a pretty sight. So um but yeah, her continuing on her journey, the creatures she finds and the things she gets up to, almost like a creature of the week episode, an X-Files is what I kind of think of, like each issue is just fun 'cause, there's obviously the overarching plot, but it's more so just whatever she's getting up to is what makes it fun. And I love his
Yeah.
use of like describing things like it got all infected with lint and I had to go full Sigourney on them.
Yeah. Another
Just
great line.
references like that, the robot from Alien, of course, and
It's like the story of Gert seems. I mean, the first, especially the first little bit, it's like it's constantly Lucy pulling the football away from Charlie Brown as he goes to kick
yeah,
it. She gets so close and then just like, nope, we still got more to do.
yeah, exactly. Like, and then like, yeah, I got a sick apocalyptic mohawk and had to fight a kaiju-sized Duncan. Which again, that was one of the things I was like, man, I forgot about that. Like, we had kind of a kaiju dragon before we got the Brett Bean kaiju dragon. And then stuff like Guag. I've forgotten about Guag the barbarian, and again, an idol of Gert's, and then she meets her and she's like, actually she hated me, but it was fine because I met somebody who was a fan of Gert and dressed up as me, which that's a funny, idea that somebody would
Yeah.
would like Gert enough to want to dress up as her. And then yeah, this I'd forgotten all about this guy and the balls of redemption from this Bobo Bowie creeper. Again, I
Oh,
just oh man, it's just I definitely need to reread this.
yeah.
And the
Because
fact that made her a good girl, was just absolutely silly.
yeah, there's so looking through this now, it's like it's getting me so excited about June coming out, like issue 41, and we'll have to revolve a whole episode around that just to discuss the new issue
Mm,
and all the new plot that's being put out there for Gert.
yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, it's gonna be a blast to see yeah, where like I said, where the story goes from where we left off. Um And yeah, it'll be nice, to reread all this stuff, the first volume and then Brett's volume. But again, I like that Gert, being good, but then immediately being taken out by a lollipop through the melon.
Vicious.
Again, it's things just do not go her way in this world. But we get Claudia back, Dark Claudia, because again, dying in this world isn't really, like she says, this is my first time I've died. I'm still alive. I'm writing this. You don't really truly die in this world.
No,
But now
Marvel's
she's
death.
exactly, yeah, just bring him back, and now she's fully evil. But then she gets killed again. Big
Yeah,
deal.
of course. But she'll be back. She'll be back.
Exactly. But then that leads into the big break we get, that now she's in the real world, and now we see where she's been all these years, living out this normal life that she's been chasing for years and wanting, just getting out of that stupid fairyland. And then realizing, like most of us who've grown up, that being an adult is not at all what it's cracked up to be. Wouldn't recommend it. I would totally take Fairyland over being an adult.
Yeah, I really, as a kid watching Billy Madison shake the little boy and saying, don't grow up, and you're thinking, I don't get why he's doing that. Now I realize
why?
it more so. Yeah.
It makes so much more sense now. It's like he says there, the real world fluffing blows unicorn gumdrop. Again, such a fun-filled sentence.
Say it 10 times fast.
So quotable.
And finally, the last new interior page.
Yep, exactly. Yes, we get back to the Skottie interior page. Which this one, is an actual, interior broken up versus that first page, that splash we got.
Right.
She's done. Yeah, she's done retelling her story. It's like, I'm done with this. This is dumb. Why are we even? Nobody wants to actually hear this stuff. But I love it at the end because it says Brett Bean got tired of Skottie's tantrums and moved on to bigger and brighter things. Luckily for you all, we tricked this Derek Loffman guy into taking over. Check out what you have to look forward to from this poor sucker.
And this, fasten your seat belts and put the trays in the upright position.
Exactly. Hold on to your butts, as Samuel Jackson once said.
There you go. That's so much more eloquently put than what I said. So
no, they're both again. They're both fun because I feel like it's I Hate Fairyland. It's both sides of the coin.
Who called dibs on this page?
Well, I mean, I called dibs on everything. I think at the beginning.
Make sure.
Yeah,
I like to be fair.
I called dibs. My wallet but it's a check my wallet can't cash.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, it's just, again, I love it because it's so familiar to me. Just certain things like the piranha fish that they're writing. I was like, man, it's just so Derek Loffman, his animals and creatures that he comes up with. Yeah, it's just so fun. Again, I just love it because it's such a fun idea, and it's one that's so interesting and makes sense that, Marvel, DC, all these comics we read never have consistent artists. Very rarely do you have a comic that keeps the same artist. Saga, Invincible, or a few I can note off the top of my head. But for the most part, it's just not really conceivable. And a lot of people, like that about the comic world, I think, where they get to choose their projects and jump on and off.
What was the second one you said? Because I was sitting here trying to think. You said because Saga's had Fiona Staples the whole run.
Yep.
And who was the first artist for Invincible? Wasn't there a different artist?
So it was Crabtree. Crabtree was he was on. I think it was until episode or issue 8. And then he did a few at the end as well.
Okay, I'm not familiar with Invincible very much, other than Motley. So
yeah, it was Ryan. I think it's Ryan because I'm trying to remember his first name. I want to say it's Ryan. Ryan Crabtree.
Okay. Well, books like that had somebody early on. Even Walking Dead, had Tony Moore early before Adler took over.
Bill Crabtree. I'm sorry, Bill Crabtree was the first artist. And then, of course, there's also where Ryan's the inks got taken over by Cliff Rathburn. He also did some of the inks for Ryan,
That's
who's
true.
doing the pencils. But for the most part, Ryan was the majority artist on that book.
Right.
And like you said, it's just that just doesn't really happen, just because, again, to keep up with all that and to do all that and to be on one project like that is a lot for people. But I like, it's I think it's one of the things that's appealing about it is, for something like this to be able to get multiple cartoonists and stuff, without you inventing new ones. Exactly.
I agree. No, never too many rides.
But yeah, I mean, it's just so fun, especially to break it up in volumes like this, to give 20 and 20 and 20, hopefully, we don't know that for sure, obviously with Derek Loffman, but that's the hope is it's kind of, he's the next volume and helping with Skottie. But
I'm clamoring for more interior art by Skottie, whether it be the boy at the end or an issue of Fairyland. But I don't want to neglect Loffman either. But it would be really cool to see Skottie do the 50th issue.
No, and
milestone.
I could very well see that, especially because he's already building up to it, as we saw with the first cover. And leading up to such a prominent, because it is, I mean, to have a creator-owned comic reach that number, reach that status is really insane. Awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, it's really good. I mean, a lot of Image books, I'll get invested in them, and they may run 12 issues, they may run 18, and either they lose popularity or the writer decides to move on to something else since they are creator-owned. But thankfully, Skottie this is his baby. He stuck with this one and nurtured it, and it's grown to what it is. So can you imagine, for the people that are completists, how many issues of issue 50 are going to be out there of I Hate Fairyland? Like covers, different covers.
Well, I wasn't, but now I am, because I'm not a completionist with most things, but I am with I Hate Fairyland. I have all the issues of volume 1. There's still a few exclusives I'm missing from the very start of this newest run with Brett Bean, that I still need to get.
There was a lot of different.
There was a lot. I think it's at least like 5 or 7. I think I'm missing. That again were just like con exclusive, or things that I just wasn't able to even attempt to get. That I've kept my eye on, but it's one that I just love the series so much, and I just love the idea of like having each and every one. And again, most of the covers are just so fun themselves.
And you get different interpretations of all the of Gert or whatever character they decide to do in the cover.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and makes it so fun. I'm sure for as we know, Skottie loves seeing that stuff. Seeing commissions or other people do his stuff, and it's like you said. I can't imagine. I'm surprised we haven't gotten more for this one. Which, I mean, I guess because it's not a number 1. It is, but it isn't. Now it's the 41. But definitely 50 for sure. Yeah, it's a good point that we'll be seeing a lot of variants, I'm sure. And I am looking forward to Skottie's as well. We haven't seen any of his yet. We know there's one for each of the books so far. Whether or not we'll get 2 like we did Brett's, where we get the regular and then the black and white or the virgin, that kind of stuff is yet to be seen. But I'm sure we'll get a Substack soon enough, because it's coming up sooner rather than later. Excuse me.
In 2026 we should hit it. So.
Yeah, so
barring some unforeseen disaster, this one's my favorite of the book.
Yeah,
just because of Helicorn. That's I'm and just there's so many different aspects to this double page splash here that's going on that are just incredible. If this doesn't get you too excited, I don't know what.
No, it's too much. Yeah, no. I was gonna say I've been talking a lot. I feel like this episode, mainly just because I feel like I can read the comic is like the main. I can see it big.
They're more props than anything right now.
Yeah, but I mean, it with stuff like this. Yeah, you don't need it. These big splash pages. These are easy to see, and I mean, as we saw with that cover, the Mike Mignola, tribute. I don't know if I just didn't catch it the first time on the cover, or if I'm just seeing it now, but. The fact that Stonehand is the hoof, again, just such a great detail, so perfect, especially because his other one is a regular hand.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, is that Frank Miller on the right hand side?
I was
Is
gonna
that
say, yeah. I was like,
is
I'm assuming, yeah, Sin City.
that's what I. Whenever I first saw it, I got it, but I just wanted some confirmation
Yeah,
beforehand.
no, and I'm the same. Like, I assume that's what it's going for, whether or not it is. Like, I don't know what else it would be, so I would assume
No,
it's
no.
got to be that. I'm not sure though. And then it kind of makes me wonder, like the stuff in the middle, if that's a nod to any other comic, or if that's just just other crazy stuff we're gonna see Gert in. Um, which makes
Yeah,
it funny because again, like you think you've seen the craziness of these comics, but going back to the previous splash page, I actually didn't even notice that Seth was the one that pointed out the samurai Gert there with the shurikens sticking out of her, facing the
yeah.
mushroom. Um, but then to see stuff, like tributes to other comics, like Hellboy and Sin City, and even stuff like her in a plane, a war plane, just in the haunted house. Like it's I can only imagine the stuff we're gonna get coming up, and like you said, it just does nothing but excites me. And I can't wait to see more and to get more of this art.
Me and Tyler are pretty dry people. I mean, you could tell we don't wear our emotions on our face, but whenever we say we're excited, we are excited. We're just
I'm one of those weird ones too, where it's
I
like
don't.
I'm an in the moment type guy. So like I'm excited for it, but it won't be till like I'm reading it where I'm like, oh man, I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
yeah.
Like we went to Epic Universe. I was like, yeah, I'm excited for it, but it doesn't hit me until like I'm like, oh, I'm in it now. Like I
I'm the
just don't
same
think
way.
about it. So
So it sounds disingenuous sometimes whenever I say I'm excited, but I really am. I really am. This is very exciting.
yeah,
As I sound like I'm falling asleep.
no,
Yeah.
it's again, the fact that I Hate Fairyland is continuing. Um, again, the fact that we got a big break like we did in terms of years between the first volume and the second volume. The fact that Skottie, wasn't able to do the interior art.
Yes.
It's there's been some like ups and downs, but it's I guess I'm not saying ups and downs because that just makes it seem like it's been bad. It was ups and downs in terms of like the high of having the comic and then the down of not having it over those years. And then it brought back, but then Scotty wasn't doing interiors, but then we got Brett Bean, and then that was awesome. And then it was gone, but then thankfully we got Derek Loffman pretty much announced right after that. So I see Dustin looking for a banner to
Yeah.
call me
I
out. Like
couldn't
as soon
find
as
it.
that's my if my eyes are rolled in the back of my
Yeah.
head, yours are looking to the side at your
Yes.
computer.
I was too slow. I was too slow. I couldn't get there fast enough.
No,
All right.
it's yeah, I'm just so excited that it's continuing. And with that being said, issue 41, June 2025.
You
Less
there?
than
You
a
here?
month away, most likely. Or, about a month away, give or take. We don't know the exact date, but June, issue number 41. So
Yeah, yeah, and we'll definitely have a show that week, unless it's the week of Heroes. I mean, it's Wednesday. We'll still be able to have a show. I won't
true,
feel
yeah.
rushed into
I
anything.
wonder if that'll line up. Yeah, maybe that lines up, and maybe they'll have some stuff at Heroes, some prints or something. I hadn't thought about that until just
Perhaps.
now. Ooh, but I can't hype myself up. I don't want to hype myself up too much.
Yeah, calm down, calm
But it
down,
makes
Tyler.
me. But I am
Yeah,
excited about about
yeah.
that.
Woo! He's going to do a backflip for y'all. All right. Oh man, we're 53 minutes in. I do have to pick up my daughter tonight, so we've got about 20 minutes left. I don't want to.
Oh, that's pretty much it. We just have the you complete
Yeah,
me stuff. So.
I'm worried. I'm worried that between Daniel, Josh, and Seth, we're going to have three people that tie for the top spot. And then I was like, what do we do? There's got to be a sudden death.
Well, you'll
I
have to
guess
cut the
they'll.
posters up into 3 strips and send
Yeah,
them out, and yeah.
it's the only thing that makes sense and it's fair. The Scotty card, gift card, I'll just keep it because there's no need
There
and
we
they
go.
won't want that
Perfect.
anyway.
Yeah.
Well,
I
there's
think that's the
three,
best. Yeah.
but no, this is awesome. I'm so thrilled with the participation. This is just the top 10. There's several people right below in the 900s and 800s. So, congratulations to everybody that's made it 7 days in. And that's one of the highlights is seeing as I'm pulling into work at 7, seeing that my scheduled post has been posted and to see the new books and to get so much crap for putting Scotty Shop exclusives in the first few days. Uh, I wanted to start easy. I figured everybody would have Scotty Shop exclusive since they're new to give everybody a running. And then Some people may have thought I was too hard. I started off too hard with it, so um, hopefully everybody's enjoying it. There's some great stuff coming up over the next few days. Issues, I won't say what they are, but there's about to be a little bit of a crescendo, and
Mm,
some of the 500 point books are going to be rolling out here pretty soon, just because we want to make sure and get them all in.
there we go. The big hitters, the heavy ones.
June 11th, so we'll be able to do a show, and that may be
Perfect.
one. That may be one at midnight where I'm buying the digital copy of it. Just to,
Mm.
sure. Well, whenever I group this or whenever I did the sorter, I kind of chuckled because it put Seth as the third spot on there. I thought that's fitting. But
It
no,
is fitting. I'm assuming, yeah, because it's alphabetical.
it is. It is. I
Yeah,
didn't. Yeah, number one to us, Seth. Number one.
exactly. Yeah. Well, yeah, just to Dustin, I won't say
Just
that.
yeah. Not the royal we. The
Yeah, just
the,
the below we. Don't think I didn't notice that exactly. Oh
all right.
goodness.
Any new items this week?
Yeah, I'll go first. You kind of maybe tease that you got
Yeah.
some good stuff. We already saw it. I had my I Hate Fairyland that I scanned for everybody. And then it was nice because that day was actually 25% off of trade paperbacks. So I also picked up the uh Human
Oh, sweet.
Torch, and maybe I don't think I'd shown this off because this was at the this was at the free comic book day.
Yeah.
Um
No. That's
but
awesome.
again, just another reprinting. Again, I did look it up. I think there have been multiple copies before this. But again, I didn't have it in my collection. I thought, what a better time to grab one and add it to the collection. And we get to see that beautiful LL fire there, Laffy Lit. For those who know, you know.
Da. Zombie
Um,
word. Yes.
I know, yeah. And then we're gonna get a cease and desist from Skottie for sure.
That's right. Yeah.
Um,
If we ever thought Skottie was coming on here, I think we just shot ourselves in the foot on that one. I
yeah,
don't
no,
think
he's definitely, yeah. I think, yeah, if anything, I would have to get off and then it'd be fine because he's done it with you before. I'm the
yeah.
outlier there, so
The double L squared has got us
yeah,
banned from the.
I'll take one. I'll take one for the team. Yeah, loser,
Yes.
whatever.
Have your duct tape over your mouth, and we'll just
Exactly.
hold up
Just have
signs.
me on mute. I'm
Just
just like this the
yeah.
entire time.
Well,
Like, man, if only we could hear what he's saying.
so
Um,
Ryan Larsey would never use that phrase, so I might bring him
no,
back
when
under
he
here.
would make fun of whoever said
Oh,
that. Yeah,
nice.
funny enough. So one of the other ones I forgot to show off previously was when Coliseum had their warehouse sale. I found the new Warriors trade paperback. So I picked this up. I didn't have this one. I had the individual issues, but again, I didn't have the trade paperback. And
Cool.
then funny enough, yeah, in the back of it, you can see an advertisement for one of the older Human Torch trade paperbacks, which this is the cover that we refer to with LL. This is the one that Skottie talked
Yeah.
about in his Substack. So yeah,
Very
just cool,
cool.
to see that stuff. But yeah, these are the few that I had. So now I'm like out of focus for some reason. So that's fine. We don't need to see my
Who?
face in focus. Yeah.
No, as long as the collectibles are, we're in good shape.
But how about you?
Actually,
You've got big stuff to show supposedly.
it's man, maybe I built it up too much. Now I'm feeling kind of. Can you blow me up real quick?
Oh yes. Let me.
Okay, and then you can unblow. No, that don't.
Hey, look at that.
Yep, I Hate Fairyland issue 20 cover by Ripley.
That is awesome. That is so cool.
So this was I had hinted probably 2 or 3 months ago to Seth and Tyler about something I was working on getting.
I'm surprised,
And
because we had talked about covers. This wasn't one. I don't think is this one that you had talked about? Because I know the other ones you had mentioned.
it was, and it never went up on More Great Arts page. It was at a con. It's actually at
Oh,
MegaCon.
okay, gotcha.
So I don't even think it was out there, but it was like in his portfolio, and the person I contacted asked him, and he had to put a price on it. And that is probably my favorite part is Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, Steamboat Willie is right there with Pinocchio as well is hilarious.
Oh yeah, that's so great. That's so great. So,
and again,
yeah,
honestly one of my favorite interpretations of Alice in Wonderland, the way he did the hippie style. You know, it's a great.
It fits. It's so fitting. Right.
Yeah, it's such a great cover. Yeah, I love that one. That's such a cool pickup. That is one of the things I still haven't added to my list. I would love to get a Brett Bean cover. I haven't checked recently. I would assume the ones I want are still on there. Yes, Dustin's gonna pull it up as we. Oh no, Ray's commenting there.
Oh yeah. I was just popping them in there. So good. Thank you, fellas. I'm very pleased. This will be on the wall this weekend over by Brett's other art that he has there. So really looking forward.
No, yeah, very awesome. Yeah, pickup. Again, Brett's work is so cool, and I'm glad to see those covers being bought up again. I would love to grab all of them if I could. Hopefully, like I said, eventually I'll maybe get one. So,
yeah, the Gertzilla cover. I'm really rooting for you to get that one.
I know. Yeah, I would love that to go with the double page spread I've got. That or that
13B.
Yeah, that movie poster one is just it's just still so good.
Or 13. That might be 13A. I can't. Whichever one it is. That one. Yeah, I'd like to see you grab that one.
I'm trying to bring it. Yeah, it's difficult to navigate the page somewhat. Yeah, most of these are still up. It's still up there. The ones I was eyeballing. So if I didn't have heroes, I'd probably be grabbing. But I'm holding out, prepping for hopefully a pickup. As we've seen, it's getting more and more difficult to be able to grab original art from Skottie. So
it is.
Yeah.
And this to be honest, this may be the last heroes where portfolios are available at some of those prelim pieces and some of the test pages for Hate Fairyland. I have a feeling a lot of those are going to get gobbled up pretty quickly over the.
Are there still available I Hate Fairyland stuff? Did I just miss that, or
there was at Heroes last year? As more of those test pages.
Okay,
they're the ones that I think I grabbed one off of his Whatnot show they did, but there was some last year. There may not be any more left now, but
yeah, I still kick myself. I didn't. I was just so caught up with seeing Skottie again and stuff. I didn't really get a proper chance to flip through the book, and I didn't want to hold up the line, especially because I was already picking up an original piece. But I definitely will be going through it this year, and yeah, hopefully there's something. That would be amazing to grab anything I Hate Fairyland again. It's especially some of the earlier stuff, like you said. It's it's as we saw or as we'll see coming up. That was a quick get for people. So
I agree. Nothing new this week for release.
Yeah, no new releases, new pre-orders.
Yeah, I grabbed a CGC copy of this one.
Oh, did you? I only grabbed the sign, but I was able to grab one, thankfully, because I didn't set an alarm like a dingleberry, and then I got a notification like 40 minutes. I was like, oh no, I was like scrambling, hoping it was still there. So
I had work-related stuff, so I didn't even get to it was 10:27 or 10:20 or whenever I posted to the group. I was like kicking myself for being because I'd been focusing on it all morning. It went live and I got called away to a meeting, but thankfully they were still there.
Yeah, same. Thankfully it was still there. I was able to grab a signed copy. Yeah, I'm excited for this. And I posted this because I hadn't looked at the synopsis here, so I thought it was interesting. Every 5 years on Halloween, the wealthiest families in America play a game. 12 of the deadliest people in the world are dropped into a small town with just one goal. The last killer standing wins. For the citizens of Oak Valley, Maine, this year's unlucky arena, the goal is much simpler. They must survive the night. So definitely, oh goodness, of course I'm blanking on the name.
Very cool.
The one where, what was it? Where they, oh my goodness, they get one day a year to do whatever they want.
Oh, the Purge.
The Purge, goodness, yes, thank you. The Purge kind of reminded me of that. So, I can only imagine how wild this comic will probably be. So,
yeah, and I think I said in the last week's or week before last that just seeing Skottie's cover made me order cover A's for him just so I could read it. And this is when I'll order like reader copies. I'm excited about this one.
Yeah, no, and it was same with the. Speaking of Free Comic Book Day, it was funny. One of the ones I picked up was a collection of 4 comics, and then one of them being the Bears book that he is doing,
Oh, Beneath the Trees. Oh, that's
Beneath the
cool.
Trees. Yes, so there was this
Yeah.
poster within the Free Comic Book Day thing that I picked up.
Yeah, the American Psycho homage there.
Yeah, and I read a synopsis and I was like, "Wow, that is not at all what I
Yeah.
expected this comic to be." But I was like, "That sounds very interesting, like a Zootopia,
Yeah.
but a criminal thriller
Yeah.
kind of deal." So, no, I'm excited again. It's something I'm trying to be better about. You know, not just picking up his covers, but also reading, especially when it's the number
material.
ones. You know, and it's not Marvel or something where I'm worried about. You know, trying to get in the middle of a big story or something.
Right.
And
You just jump right into a lot of these creator-owned books and
yeah, exactly. And
really
you know, give it a
enjoy them.
chance because you never know. You know, if it's like, hey, wow, not only did I love the cover, but this comic is awesome. So,
Right. And these are the pages that Seth bought. Thanks. I
yes,
appreciate it. I think he's taking the cover, and I mean, I'm assuming you're going to take the splash page. So
I
I'm
was
okay
aiming
with
for
I'm
it. Yeah.
okay. I'm okay with the panel page. I'm not going to complain, but
I think in the end I'll just stab you both in the back and then just take all
oh
3.
my gosh, you're going to get kicked off of YouTube. So he's kidding. Ha ha ha.
It's a joke.
This is I hope. But congratulations to, in all seriousness, me and Tyler and Seth had a lot of discussion about this before it went up, but congratulations to whoever grabbed these in like 40 seconds flat.
Yeah.
It
Oh
was
yeah. So I was
it
gonna
was
say that's
impressive.
the drum roll surprise is under a minute sold.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I
No,
messed that
yeah,
the big reveal up.
yeah. I honestly forgot myself.
I'm sorry,
No,
I had to. It was
yeah, it's crazy. No, it's under a minute. That's, you know, it's not
very
surprising these
impressive.
days for Skottie's stuff, but you know, like I think yeah, Seth brought up, you know, that's not even enough time. Or like, how do you know who has that locked and loaded? You know,
Yep,
not quickly ready to go. So yeah, no,
it
very
was
lucky the people who were able to grab these. I'm jealous, like you know, most people are. Definitely awesome pieces to add to the collection. So
yeah, kudos. All right, we're wrapping her down here. We got a few more left. Yeah, I'm going to go. Okay. Yeah, my daughter's text me, said, let me know when you're here. But I told her I'd be there in 20 minutes. So we got about 5 minutes left on here. So,
got it.
uh,
Well, yeah, I've only got a few more slides, so we can go through pretty quickly.
okay.
But
So, free
yes,
comic book or Star Wars Day. May the 4th
yes,
be with you. Megan posted about her down at Galaxy's Edge. Tyler was actually down at Galaxy's Edge on his birthday
I
on May the
was.
4th, which
Yes,
is awesome. And we were surprised with a 6 issue, or actually, it was more than 6 books. There were, because some of these had multiple copies of them with
yes, true.
lower
Yeah,
grades. So
different ratings for some of them. Different gradings, but those 2 also sold quickly. I contemplated the Chewbacca. I love that cover. It's one of my favorite Star Wars covers. And I went back for it and it was gone. I was like, yep, but I was busy that day, you know, so it's, you know, I couldn't take too much time, but it was very cool to see Megan think about that and add those up there and have those from the personal collection. So,
very
and
cool.
speaking of personal collections, breaking news that we got, you know, again, right before the show.
Do we have the bar going?
I know exactly. Yeah, April Fool's covers will be added to the personal collection CGC stuff. I did ask for those interested. They are leaving out the cheeseburger option. Unfortunately, it would have 100% contaminated other books in the vicinity, and they'd like to stay in the good graces of the fine folks at CGC, which I said that's completely fair and understanding. I'm still upset. You know, maybe I'll have to send in my own cheeseburger book. But it's super cool that they're offering these. There's at least one that I think I'm going to go after, depending on which other ones they add. But I imagine these will go pretty quickly too. So
yeah, I'd say so. Dibs. Do you call dibs on one of them? We've got to honor dibs.
I am going to go for the right hand. I don't know what it is about the right-handed one that just
Yeah.
makes me laugh. But if I can get that one, that would make me incredibly happy. So
If we don't honor dibs, I mean that's the only thing that separates us from the animals. So come on, folks. Don't
no,
let the
I
boy.
like calling dibs, but you know, it's still, first come, first serve, every person for themselves
Yeah.
type of deal. So I can't be mad.
It's like the old Chris Farley, Adam Sandler, Hurley boy sketch. You know, I'm like for Tyler, he's a good boy. What's wrong with you all? Let him have the right.
How could you do this? Let him have it. Exactly.
Let him sleep in your bed. Okay, so anyway, Jerry was down there in your neck of the woods last week too. I wanted to make sure and point that out.
Oh, I think I remember him saying that he was going to be in Disney World. I was going to call that out. Yeah, that you're going to be in my neck. So, yeah, no, it's fun living down there. Yeah, because we'll get visitors frequently who are familiar. So,
yeah, and if anybody ever wants to go down to Orlando, Tyler has opened up his home to any member of the Skottie Young Appreciation Group on Facebook to come and stay to help, because it gets expensive at the park. So.
Yeah, you'll have to make space on the floor. All my toys and stuff take up most of it. But yeah, if you can find a little corner, then that's perfectly fine. So
let him sleep in your bed, Tyler. What is wrong with you? Come on.
Yeah, now he says that.
Yeah. All right, last but not least.
Yeah, there he is. Great to catch up like that. Yeah, but yes,
I love it. Last but not least, our plans coming to it's evolving. So far, me, Tyler, Seth. I think Matt Gilmore has also mentioned he will be there at 7:30. I did let Megan and Skottie and them know that, and John and anybody that's with their group know they are more than welcome to have. But I have a feeling that Thursday's setup day, so they're going to be slammed. But I told them if they want to pop by, they're more than welcome to do it. But if it's just us hanging out, I'm looking so forward. That'll be the kickoff for the con. So as Seth said, we'll probably be having coffee and breakfast every morning, and standing in lines for each other and helping different things out. That's what this group's about. That's what our friends are about.
Yeah, if anybody needs me to stand in Skottie's line, though, I have been told I'm limited to a certain amount. I won't be able to help out too much.
No. But if you're coming to the show, please let us know and please meet up with us. You'll recognize Tyler because he'll have probably the only person at the show that'll have Mickey Mouse ears on.
I was gonna bring all my hats and switch it up. Yeah, maybe I'll just rock the Disney hat the whole weekend. So
I think that's a good way to let people know who you are, Tyler.
Yeah.
And even people that don't know this show will know who you are.
Yeah, they get some weird looks like, what on earth? Like, why?
No, but really looking forward to that as we're about like 6 weeks away, so can't hardly wait. We're all Tyler's got his tickets, I've got my tickets. Now it's time to get yours. So
get yours, exactly. I like that. All right, so we can let Dustin go pick up his kid.
Yeah.
Thank you everyone for being with us this week as usual. Come back next week. Stay fresh, live messy. We'll see you back here.
Peace.